Okay, so. Don't tell me your name, just tell me the first letter. First letter. The first letter of your name. What is the first letter? The first letter.
Say.
What?
Say.
Say the first letter of your name.
English name or Chinese name?
So don't tell me your name. I want to guess, but the first letter of my name is I. What is the first?
J. Say.
J.
Yes.
Oh, J. Jennifer? No. Jane? No. Jane?
J.
So really, my mind is really going, Jane. That's your name?
No.
No. Okay. And is it not Jennifer?
No. No.
Not Joseph. Jenny.
No.
Jenny, Jasmine, Jennifer, Jack. All right, second letter.
O.
Third letter.
A.
Joanne. Was it Joanna?
Yes, Joanna.
With one N or two?
Two.
1, 2. Joanna. First letter.
T.
T. Second letter.
A.
Tammy?
Yes.
Good. First letter.
G.
Oh, Gigi. This is I'm Hal and you. Well, last week I'm going to give you a suggestion. I will give you a suggestion, but it's up to you. Up to you. We use that in English a lot, meaning your decision. So I should say, but it is your decision. Okay. Last week, Marcus gave a demonstration and I made a quiz out of it. Do you want to do, one of you do that next week? Just present something you like, a short video clip, a short anything, a short of anything, a short video clip of something. So, you know, from YouTube or just from the internet, YouTube, whatever. Maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes, maybe, or something. And then I will give you a quiz on it. Would somebody like to do that? Something that you're in. Marcos loves food, he loves cooking, he loves the Spanish language. So, last week, Marcos showed us a video clip of how to make a Spanish potato and egg omelet. Is there something you like, Jane? What's your name? Sorry? Joseph. It's up to you, but you learn a lot that way. It could be anything. It could be a news clip. Just, for example, you could do a news clip, current affair. A current affair is the same thing. A current affairs means news. What is going on? Affair. What is happening? Current affairs. Okay. Any volunteers? Even today? Should I show you something today? So at the beginning of every class, somebody shows us. Tammy, do you understand? Boots it down. Okay, explain in English. Can you say it in Chinese loudly so I can hear it, Judy? How do you say that in Chinese?
就是老师说上礼拜挂课时有放影片给我看，然后老师就说就是对，就看我们有没有是有兴趣的影片，3到5分钟可以分享给大家，然后老师会就是在放完影片之后问你问题。
So yeah, that's really bad handwriting. My handwriting is very bad. I just my handwriting. Okay, I will give you a suggestion, but it is up to you to follow it. The suggestion is show a short AV clip of something you like, you know. I don't like looking at my handwriting. Very bad. No. Is anyone interested in doing that? Maybe I'll show one. I'll show one today, right now. What am I going to show? Okay, I'll show you this because it makes me so happy. I'll show you, it's something that's real and I love it, and it makes me happy. Okay, let's just see. Yeah, thank you, Jane, because when we shut the door, it gets really hot. Okay, it's just an 8-minute video clip, and it makes me feel happy anyway. And then I'm gonna just give you maybe some of you know it. I'm not sure, this may not be the best clip, but I'm just gonna show it to you. I'm going to slow the speed down and I'll have captions. Maybe I'll make it even really slow. And too slow. I'll make it a little bit faster.
In 2026, you and you were associated with European technology. your father and your wife named Christian.
Yeah,
Is that true?
it's 100% true. Yeah, so in the 1970s, when my dad, or maybe 1969, my dad moved from Australia with his best friend, and they were working in a furniture shop together. When they decided, they heard a story about how Harry had this incredible pet shop that you could go and buy any animal.
Okay, so he's talking about his father who moved to the United Kingdom, and Harrods is a very high, it's a department store, but it's considered high class. You know, if you show a Harrods shopping bag, you're high class. Okay, so his father was an Australian, moved to England, and they heard that this department store had a pet shop.
Really?
Yeah, it was the case. Yeah, it was the case. They were selling all kinds of animals. The story that got them interested was my dad had heard how a manager had taken a woman there on a date, and he said, "What animal would you like?" And she tried to be clever and was like, "I want a camel." And the manager responded, "You want one humble too."
Sorry everyone, that's very ugly language.
My dad decided, okay, we got to go and check this place out. And they got there and they had 2 lions come for sale. And my dad and his friends they saw the cup, and they could have pulled them both, but they pulled every bit of their last savings, and they bought Christian. And it was a little lion cub who was maybe a few months old at the time.
So what? You have in the shop, in the city of London.
Yeah, and then they brought him back to their furniture shop where they raised him, and that's where he lived. So they had him in the basement with all of his disused furniture.
Okay, so his father in the 1970s bought a baby lion on sale at a department store. We would not, could not, must not, should not ever do that. But in the 1970s, people were very ignorant about animals. They treated them just like an object. We pick up this animal, put it for sale here. We pick up this turtle, put it there. We pick up this fish. It's just extraordinary that we don't think animals feel, think. We think that they don't understand family. We think that they don't have memory. His father bought this lion from a department store in England. Lions don't belong in England in department stores. And his father ran a business, a furniture store. So they put the lion in the basement, the bottom floor.
Which was just his playground essentially. And they would take the walk along the King's Road. They became very good friends with a local parish, I think he was in Victor or something. And he had
A butcher.
well, the butcher, yeah, he provided all of the odd cuts because he went to a lot of meat, they do. And there was a sort of a little park cemetery type thing. And they would take Christian there, they'd kick the ball around so he could chase the ball and actually have a run around off the leash. But in an enclosed environment so that he was safe and other people were safe. And Christian was a sweetie apparently, like never hurt anyone, never attacked any animals. But it was in theory, but like I think my dad said that they always had this sort of relationship that they could tell from showing signs of animosity, and it wasn't too often. There's actually a photo shoot in the...
Don't worry about any of this. They're just saying that the lion got really big and they exercised him in the park, but he never ever attacked another animal. He wasn't aggressive. So he's just saying this. So this is a true story.
Photos going around with playing with some baby chicks. It was like an Easter shoot, and apparently Christian sort of like pushed them around and knocked them over, but he never tried to eat any of them. because he was well fed, so he didn't feel the need to kind of like try and get more food. And they kept him there. I mean, my favorite story is so Christian he figured out he was abnormal, like he wasn't a normal. People were surprised to meet him all the time. And so he would sit in the window of the furniture shop looking out the street, and he would say, perfectly still. And then a crowd of people would stop and look at him like, wow, he looks so realistic. And then he'd get up and move, and they'd all lose their mind and freak out, oh my God, it's alive! Go and like freak out. Oh my God.
So this is just a story. The lion started to understand that he was unusual. He's not human. He's growing up and he's realized, so he would sit at the shop window very still, and people thought he was a stuffed lion. So we have a lot of stuff. Again, we don't do this anymore, but it's very common when I was your age, people would hunt animals and we would kill them, and then it's like a stuffed animal means an animal that's dead, but we preserved it, ST. It's a very common expression, stuffed animal. So he pretended to be a dead animal that someone had killed, and he'd sit there and then he'd move, and people would be in shock because he was actually alive. Anyway.
How privileged.
And so eventually word got out that my dad and his friends were raising a lion in London. They weren't alone, like in the documentaries, there's footage of people walking down the street with cheetahs and things.
So again, this is something we used to do, and now it's very embarrassing for most people are embarrassed that they did that, to treat an animal as kind of, it's basically she's showing off. It's a status thing. It's show off, it's a gimmick to show that you're different. You get a strange animal, like a cat or dog, it's strange enough, so we find another animal to show off. So it wasn't unusual, it wasn't that uncommon.
They weren't alone. It was just so happened that he was a very personal guy, and they ended up meeting Elsa and George Adamson, who he recommended that they ran a reserve out in Africa. And so people who'd just done a line called Elsa, which is another movie about rehabilitation. And they put my dad in touch with them, and then the Christian by this point was like nearly a year old, so he's getting quite fit. And they were kind of aware of the fact that, like, you cannot keep him forever because he is a lion. There's a level of insanity we can fight. And eventually they were able to take him out to Africa. And while out there, they went out for a few weeks and they were hanging out with him. And they had a great time out there until eventually George Adamson ran the foundation. Turned and said, look, you're going to have to go home because he will never rehabilitate while you're here.
So they found a famous couple, very famous, the Adamsons, who educate us about animals needing their own space. No animal wants to be with a human, except dogs. You can have an animal as a pet, but you've got to put a lot of time and energy into it. It's like having a baby forever. So you can have pet lizards, but a dog is one of the few animals where you don't really need to do a lot. It's instant bonding. But other animals are very slow, and most people get bored. They buy an animal for entertainment, or they're bored, or for their child, and then they get bored and the animal just sits in a cage. So his father realized their line was getting big, and he didn't want it to be just a symbol, a show-off thing. So he found out this couple take animals in captivity and they bring them back to Africa and they let them free. And so his father goes to Africa, but Christian wants to stay with his father. So the people said to his father, go leave Christian alone. Christian has to learn to be independent. So that's what's going on. So the people in Africa are saying to his father, you've got to let, Christian will keep coming to you. So just, you've got to leave Africa. It's to attack.
So they left, and they got occasional updates, and a year passes when eventually they start talking to it again, and they decide actually coming to and so they fly back out, and they were looking for him, and then there's the YouTube video online for Christian, which shows the reunion, which is when Christian sees them from the top of the cliff and comes running down.
Okay. I'll show you the clip. So they left Christian, he's a big man, he's a big guy. Okay, they left him. Okay, and just see if I can get, I just want to get the end, but maybe that's it. I'll show this one maybe.
If you have ever stood next to a lion, you know how intimidating they are.
This is a little
Theirs is a presence which doesn't exactly fit in the domestic setting, making the story of Christian the lion all the more amazing. Raised by humans and successfully released back into the wild, Animal Wise shares this heartwarming true story which helps us evaluate how we treat wild animals. It's 1969 in the heart of London. Two 25-year-old Australians are strolling through the streets of the city. John Rendell and Anthony Burke pass the globally renowned department store Harrods and spot a rare commodity. In a small space behind the storefront window was an 8-month-old lion cub. Without hesitation, they decided to purchase the animal, not fully realizing what having a lion as a pet would entail. They named him Christian and took him to their apartment in the city. Despite the unusual nature of having a lion as a life companion, we didn't think about the broader implications, specifically the proper place for a wild animal. This story would be unthinkable today. Buying and raising wild animals as pets in urban environments is banned in many places for ethical and safety reasons. In the 60s, the desire to own such a majestic animal overshadowed consideration of its long-term well-being. Was Christian the lion really being treated like a wild animal, or just another companion animal for a human family? Christian's story raises ethical questions about our treatment of wildlife. The 8-month-old lion started out living with the two friends in a small flat where he initially didn't have much room to move around. He was later relocated to the basement of a furniture store owned by John and Anthony that provided more space. The store had more to offer than a regular home, but was still a facility completely alien to the natural needs of a wild lion. Christian was surrounded by people. Although his keepers provided him with affection and care, the living conditions were not suitable for a lion. As he grew older, space began to become increasingly limited. As with other wild animals, lions need vast territories to move around, explore, and hunt, which was impossible in the urban environment. Despite this, John and Anthony tried to meet his needs, taking him for walks in the countryside and giving him an appropriate diet. As a result of spending so much of his formative months around people, Christian developed a very close relationship with his human caretakers. Although exhibiting his wild nature at certain times, the lion was affectionate and playful, giving the perception as more of a domestic animal than a wild creature. As Christian grew up, it became increasingly apparent this was not the case, and life in London was no longer viable. Christian lived in London with John and Anthony from the age of 8 months to about 1.5 years. In terms of size and strength, the lion was already an adult, making it impossible for him to continue living in an urban environment. That's when his keepers decided to look for a more suitable solution. Knowing that Christian could not live as a wild lion in London, they made the brave decision to contact conservationist George Adamson and relocate him to a reserve in Kenya. This action utilized pointed by the urgent need to ensure that wild animals live in their natural habitat. Christian story reminds us that animals should not be considered property nor decorations in our homes. They are living beings that have a purpose and a place in their ecosystem. And so Christian was released into the vast African territory where he began to adapt to life in the wild. It took months for him to fully integrate into a pride of wild lions, but his eventual success is a testament to the desire of animals to live in accordance with their nature. In 1971, after a year of wild living, John and he decided to return to Kenya to see Christian. Upon encountering the lion that was already part of the wild, the reunion...
They were very nervous because it was their kid. You know, they loved this baby. You know, and they really missed him. But they also knew what they were doing was wrong. So they're coming back after a year, and they look excited and happy, but they're also nervous. Christian is, he's a lion.
Reflection. Christian not really recognized them, but ran towards them with palpable affection, hugging them as if time had not passed. This reading was recorded and broadcast, becoming a symbol of the connection that can exist between humans and animals, but also a reminder of how precious freedom is for a wild animal. Christian spent the rest of his life in the wild, a fate that many animals captured and held in captivity never enjoy. This story invites us to reflect on the impact of captivity on animals, on the decisions we make as a society regarding the treatment of exotic animals, and on the importance of ensuring that each creature lives in their natural habitat where they can develop their full potential as a wild being. Christian's story is touching, but it's also a reminder of our responsibility as human beings to promote animal welfare and conservation. If this story evokes anything in you, you may wonder how we can contribute to a world where wild animals live free and in their natural environment. Christian showed us the power of a bond between humans and nature, but he also leaves a bigger lesson about the importance of respecting the freedom every living being deserves. It's up to us to decide what future we want for wild animals. If you're interested in similar stories about amazing creatures, don't miss the story of Wojtek Robert in the video we share here. Share your thoughts about Christian.
Okay, so that's what I love, everyone. I mean, anybody else would be absolutely terrified. This is a lion running at maximum speed. You could disappear in his mouth, and it was just sheer love. He was kissing them. He was so happy to see them. And later, it doesn't show in this clip, Christian had a partner, a woman, a female lion, and he brought the female lion to meet the two human beings with the baby cubs. So Christian introduced his family. They were a bit more careful there because they're completely wild. But the Christian brought his wife, or his female partner, dad, and the kids. And Christian stood there, the two men were there, and Christian was saying, "This is my family." So it's just a wonderful story. So here's the quiz. So that's what Marcus did that last week, and I just did something this week. So here's the quiz on it, everyone. Here's some questions. So I'll put the sentences up here, and you pick the words that match the sentence. We'll start with that, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did anyone come late? Marcus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, what's your name? Cindy. Okay. Anybody wants to go first? Go, Uni. Pick the easy one, the first year.
In 1969, total math.
All right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right, sorry. Immigrated. Sorry. Good on you. Okay. Marcus.
So Mr. they got a line copy in Paris.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes? Gigi?
Today, selling wild animal is banned in UK and many other countries.
Yeah, now actually it's not big ones, but you can sell a lot of small, like you can sell insects. You can sell a lot of animals still, but the bigger the animal, the less likely you'll see it's being sold. Yeah, so this is a weird thing because really there's very few wild animals left. Yeah, selling, you can still, yeah. Of course we can sell birds, fish, dogs, cats, turtles, a lot of reptiles. So I think in the UK we can still sell snakes, but maybe not. Maybe not. Reptiles, lizards, but possibly not. Okay, and anyone else? Angel?
Christian was fortunate his owner eventually returned him to Africa.
Yeah, or it was Kenya. Anyone else? Cindy? Yeah, now actually, Yumi, I had it this way because yeah, but I know if I said that, you would have said Australian, so they wanted, yeah. But it's interchangeable. Okay, the two language to see their friend. And last one, anyone?
He came running toward it at full speed.
Yeah, that's what you hear that. We say he's driving at full speed, meaning he's driving too fast, very quickly. And he jumped on his two friends with joy. So anyway, I just happened to see that on YouTube and it just got millions of followers, but I haven't looked at it for about 5 years. And now there's like 15 YouTubes on it. When I saw this at least 10 years ago, there was only one YouTube, it was just short, it was just that photograph of the end. And now there's a backstory. I didn't know that the two men, they ran a furniture business. I didn't know they were from Australia. When they went to London, they opened a furniture business. But I didn't know that, there's a lot more on it, but because we're more educated. All right, that was my quiz, everyone. So if there's something you want to do next week, just show us something. Show me an audio-visual clip, and then I'll make up some questions for it. Any questions? In Taiwan, are you allowed to buy and sell wild animals? Do you all know about pet stores? Probably you don't want to buy a pet from a pet store. Because if you go at the back and look at the mother, like dogs, it's a business, everyone. So you will buy a female dog and you keep getting it pregnant until it just dies. There's actually a lot of awareness in Taiwan. Taiwanese people are much more educated about animal rights. In Taiwan, you've got some of the strongest animal rights laws in the world. We don't. It's here. Now, they're broken all the time, but that's everywhere among the strongest. And that's true in the world, really strong. Now, everybody breaks those rules. Okay, it's the same in Australia. We have many animal rights laws. Nobody listens to them. There's a lot of illegal, not legal. But why Taiwan is always exceptional is you actually have rules against animal cruelty. In some countries, you don't even have rules. You can do whatever you want. So sometimes you first need a law, and no one obeys it. You've got the law, and lots of people don't care, and it's such a widespread problem. The government can't chase you. But once the law's in place, eventually action follows. But you first have to have the law, and it may not be, people may not like it, and they don't care, but it's there, and then eventually people start to follow it. If it's a good law, they'll follow it. So a lot of you will see animal cruelty in Taiwan, but it's probably illegal. It's probably not legal, opposite of legal. That's illegal is opposite. So probably it's illegal. So I've got friends, and if they see someone chaining up a dog, you can report it. But there's a lot of practices that are old, and the practices, it takes time for the practices to follow up. But yeah, Taiwanese has very good human rights in Taiwan, are very strong. But again, as you know, as in Australia, sometimes we don't follow those. Okay. But they're much stronger than other countries. Just remarkably strong. Really, really strong. So, anyway, so I don't know in Taiwan if you can sell. I do know that these animals there's not many. What's that animal? What's the name of the animal in Chinese? How do you say that? They're beautiful animals. They're very much loved in the West. We think that they're very exotic. We don't have them in the West. They're very special, but here do you know what a pangolin is? If you are a pangolin anywhere else on the planet, you're going to be, your scales, people are going to take your scales off. They're going to kill you instantly. In Taiwan, we protect them. And they're a lot, but they're sort of threatened. But their biggest predator used to be humans. Predator. But, so if you are a pangolin anywhere in the world, you're going to be scared of a human because we sell these animals and they're absolutely beautiful. But what's the biggest predator of pangolins in Taiwan? It's not humans. Unfortunately, I love these animals, wild dogs. Because a pangolin has a very soft stomach, so it can protect itself by curling up in a ball, but the dog just kind of does this, and eventually the pangolin kind of relaxes and the dog goes straight for its stomach. And I love dogs, everyone, but Australia and Taiwan and most countries, we have huge numbers of wild dogs and wild cats. They kill every bird, every pangolin, every insect, you name it, they kill it. So we've got to find a way of asking people, you know, yes, have a pet dog, but make sure it doesn't have babies. You know, dogs and cats, everyone. There's billions of dogs, and they're the biggest. And also in Australia, not here, there's more wild pigs now in Australia than kangaroos and koalas. Massive amounts of wild pigs. So they're pigs that have escaped from the meat business. Same in the USA. You can go out hunting wild pigs at night. And pigs are very intelligent. They're actually a beautiful animal. They're very intelligent. They're more intelligent than dogs. But anyway, but yeah, I do like dogs, but I know in the wild, I feel like, so there's a lot of pangolins on the university campus at, I think at Taida or Shuda, one of them looks after them. But they're a very beautiful animal. Also, you know everyone, Taiwan, your dolphins, whales. If you're a whale or a dolphin, you're any cetacean species, if you're in Asia, you're one of those people, you come to Taiwan straight away. Anywhere else would be killed. Instantly. I'm exaggerating, but Taiwan also has really strong laws about protecting your whales. Unfortunately, there's not many left, and there's a lot of pollution in the water. But yeah, it's a sanctuary. They come down to Bali and in other places in Asia, they learn to stay away because they're not going to live very long. So yeah, Taiwan is actually really extraordinary. I think in Bali, there's a rehabilitation center. Everyone, they look pretty, but you gotta ask these people what they do to the animals at night after you go away. Just when you go to SeaWorld or I think X-Park, you gotta ask the owners, are they interested in the animals? Do they love the animals? Are they interested in making money? So people like to see animals up close, but that probably means the animal is being abused. If you really want to love an animal, you have to be willing to let it go and see it from a distance. And that once you're educated, that makes you so happy. When you see an animal up close at SeaWorld, you know the animal's been abused. So you get the joy, the entertainment of seeing the animal, but the animal is... I'll tell you one story and I'll give you a break, because this is my penguins at X-Park. Penguins are used to walking on sand. They've got beautiful, delicate feet and legs. At X-Park, they walk on concrete. By the time they're a young person, a baby penguin is maybe, you're like a teenager, they've got bad backs because the floor is too hard for them. So they have that. So when you see a pretty little penguin in X Park, you know in a couple of years it's going to have back pain. So these are things that X Park doesn't tell you because it wants your money. It's heartbreaking because we want our children to love animals, so we take them to these places, but they're places where animals are being exploited terribly. And that's the Christian Alliance story. These Australians were fairly wealthy, they're hot, they run a furniture business, they see a cub, but as they got older, they understood that this wasn't right. But Christian was lucky because the two owners, they didn't get bored with the lion, they didn't keep him in the basement, they actually made sure he exercised, they gave him a lot of love. And he was only 1 year before they released him. So he was young, he could adapt to the wild. If they kept him longer, like in a circus, the animals that we rescue from circuses, they can't go back to the wild. They're completely broken. All right, no more bad, sad stories. After the break, we can talk about that.
from in Australia?
In from Australia?
You're from Australia.
I am. I'm hybrid. Sorry, let me just do one thing before I forget. Sorry, just one thing. I'm hybrid.
I asked you, where are you from in Australia?
Melbourne.
Oh, you're from Melbourne.
Have you been to Australia?
I was there last year. In Melbourne.
In Melbourne?
Yeah, but I've been to Perth before. Perth and Melbourne.
So, sorry, how long were you there for?
I stayed for just 2 weeks.
What were you doing?
Because I was planning to travel in Fiji, and so after Fiji I fly back to Australia because then there's no direct flights from Taiwan to Fiji.
Fiji, so you go, hold on. Fiji, but Fiji is closer to Taiwan, yes?
No, it's far
It's
from.
further. Wow.
Because there's no direct flights.
Oh, so you go to Melbourne and then go to Fiji.
I fly to Japan because from Japan
That's right.
there's the flight to Fiji.
Fiji.
Then after I come back, I fly to Melbourne, then Melbourne to Taipei.
Yeah, that makes sense because my sister took a cruise from Fiji to Sydney, but she was a free ticket, but to get to Fiji, she had to go to Japan. That's right, she flew to Japan. Okay, so in Melbourne, did you have an itinerary? Like, did you have a package tour or?
No, I just traveled by myself.
Where did you stay?
I stay in the hostel.
In the hostels, right in the city. In the city.
Yeah.
Do you remember what street? Swanston Street, Flinders Street.
I little bit forgot, but it's close to the colorful house.
Yeah. Did you feel safe?
Huh?
Did you feel safe?
I don't know because sometimes there's many homeless people outside, and it's a little bit scary. Yeah.
If you use public transport, people who don't see it, so just get in their car and they have it. I use public transport. As soon as it gets dark, I'm just honestly, I'm not terrified, but I'm very scared and nervous, very apprehensive. And then I get terrified if someone's walking towards me. I would say Melbourne is probably one of the worst cities. Maybe not. Actually, that's my city, but no, I haven't been to the cities. I'd say that, in fact, some of them would be worse, yeah. So at night, do you walk around?
No, usually I come back around 7.
7.
Yeah, but because they're a little bit dangerous at night.
See, that's not good. If a country is like that, then, Taiwan can walk around till 2 in the morning. There must be some places where, let's say there's an old street in Taipei and there's 4 bars and maybe there's some alcohol. But it's like generally, and you might get caught up in the night, but it's, the quality of life here is unbelievable.
Really?
But unfortunately, the dollar there is so strong. That's why it's so attractive because there, you do the same work and get 3 times it. And if you live really cheaply, you can save that money and then you can get clean somewhere else. Most Australians don't. They don't, so their dollar, they seem to make a lot of better things. the cost of living there is so high. But some of them have figured it out, and they've worked out to make enough so they can leave the country. They go to Greece for 6 months, and they just live there, and they get out. And they go to places where they feel safe. They can, like Greece apparently, Athens is terrible, because my mom's Greek. And I was scared of going to Greece, but apparently outside the city, it's extremely safe, and apparently Asians are treated quite well. I asked Taiwanese people, and they said, ours, we never once saw. But in the islands, so you go, and nobody steals your belongings. It's like Taiwan, in the islands, the Greek islands. So there are places like Taiwan, but Greece is poor compared to Taiwan. Gee, I'm happy for you. That's very courageous. That's very courageous of you. You did it by yourself. I mean, you probably could have had some great experience out at night, but I wouldn't risk it. And again, sometimes it's bad luck, but if you're living in the city at night, that's dangerous. Because everybody leaves, and the only people that stay in the city are.
Yeah, you have to be more careful at night.
And in the day you felt okay, but even then during the day were you really okay, or even then were you sometimes? Yeah. When I grew up in a different era in Australia, there were no homes, and people would say to me all the time, Australia would never become like America. And I knew like they're so sure things won't change. Because in America, many people live in their cars, and now people in Australia are living in their cars. And I've had so many people say to me, we would never have that in Australia, because we do have better social welfare. We're much better, we look after our workers, but it's still all the workers' rights are slipping. There's a bigger gap between the two. It used to be more, I don't want to say socialist, but you were still really free, but the government, there were limits on how much money you could make. So for the average person, but the rich people didn't like that. They wanted all those restrictions removed. And they call that freedom, but I'm like, freedom, it's better if most people are free, there's no poverty, but you don't make huge amounts of money, but you make enough. But yeah, there are people that say there should be no limits on anything. If I can make money as much as I want, and I should not be taxed. And that's why I think Australia is starting to follow the United States pattern. And then you get more homeless, more crime, more anger, more resentment, and then people like you get targeted. the foreigners, the people of other races.
I know there's a protest before in Australia, right?
Sorry?
There are protests for the immigrants in Australia before, right?
That in my lifetime, people would say, they would believe me, they'd say that will never, ever, ever happen. It's just shocking, it's extreme, it's exactly like Trump's America. I mean, right now it's just shocking because Australians are all immigrants. We've all come from somewhere. We actually took that country from indigenous people. It's just that's why the old immigrants blame the new immigrants. Because the old immigrants get established, they get money, and then they don't feel connected to life. Yeah, no, that was shocking. That was really shocking. But I'm glad there was a recent anti-immigration rally in Melbourne, and I think for the first time a couple of big supports, some people that were giving space to it, they pulled out. They said, we're not going to back this. This is not a democratic movement. It's a prejudice. I mean, Melbourne's got a lot of Asian people. You notice that a lot of Australians are Asian, from Asian background. So, kind of, That's nice for you, yeah? You were a bit somewhat invisible. Australia has a huge Asian Australian population.
Yeah, I saw.
You fit in.
I think it's very diversity.
Yeah, very
nice.
Yeah, which is good in a way, yeah, because out of the cities is more safe and less safe. More safe because the towns are small, people know each other, so as long as you've got someone who knows you. But also less safe because outside of the cities, people are more anti-difference. People are different. Okay. Good, everyone. What would you like to talk about? Do you want to work in a small group? All of you, one group together. Is it too many people? Are you hot? Oh, I'm boiling. The air conditioner isn't on, but that's all right. Or is it? Oh, it's on. It's 25. Okay, there you go. That's cool. Okay, do you want to work in a big circle? So maybe Jane, you sit sort of, Marcus turn around, Cindy turn around, Joseph, maybe you can just sit here, so that you're all in this, maybe you could sit. And Marcus and Cindy, do you want to come, maybe come this side, And Joseph, you can sit here. Yeah, Joseph. Only English, everyone. Or yeah, something like that. That will do. Or yeah, that's good. Or Joseph, maybe or at the back. Here, Joseph would be good. Tammy, you work some Gigi. I'm only joking, but I'd like everyone to be even. But that's all right, Tammy. No, you can stick with Gigi. That's okay. Yeah, more space. A little bit more space. All right, English only.
You are Joanna, right? You are Joanna.
Yes.
Sorry, Marcus. What?
My name is Matt.
Oh, 11:6. Oh, what's this one? Oh, you paid your son.
Go first.
A young
Handsome. Yes.
You change your life. Why you change your life?
The life stress. Life stress can make one person change their life. Indeterminate issue, the prince and the queen. Let's start from, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, should you be keep distance from another male or female?
Pardon?
If you are already married, or you have boyfriend or girlfriend, what will you do if you face another person? For example, if you have boyfriend and if your boyfriend get closer to with another female, will you mind? Even though he tells you that it's okay, it's just a friend. I'm talking about the distance or the frontier feeling is truly important between male and female.
If he told
If I am your boy, if I were your boyfriend, okay, I go out with Cindy, just as my friend, okay? Do you mind? Do you allow me to
only
go out?
you two people.
Also Tammy.
Also Terry.
Okay. I go out because you have a job today, so you are alone. You are working. I'm eating with them. Yeah. I tell you first. Tonight I have to go out with Cindy and Tammy for dinner, and I will pick you up later. Will you accept my decision, or you inside your heart you truly mind that I go out with another female? Choose.
A little bit.
A little bit means you do mind that I go out with another female, even though those two female maybe you know, right? Yes. And what will you do if you change? Change the position. Okay, you tonight live with another two male, and I'm working.
Another two round.
Yeah, your best friend is a male, John and Jose.
I will have distance to those. If my boyfriend is not with.
How about if I tell you I do mind you go out with John and Jose, and I hope you don't go. Which means if you have boyfriend, you have to sacrifice part of your life, or do you accept it or not? You are not alone already. You are maybe reserved for the future.
If my boyfriend now with us, maybe I won't go out with them.
But your friend will say, I'm your friend, you just tell your boyfriend that you go out with the two men which you know already. You knew it before.
But if my boyfriend don't allow me.
So you will lose your friend. So you focus love more than the friendship.
So it shows the friend
So it proves what?
It's not true friend.
It proves one phrase. No sacrifice, no marriage. You lost. Okay. Because recently this news is a famous entertainment news. Right? So I'm talking about the distance feeling is truly important while two person get together. But if you want to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you have to sacrifice part of your life, right? But someone will say, why I need to sacrifice my friendship? Even though you are my girlfriend, I still want to have my friendship with my friend.
Why do you want to talk about this topic? Why do you want to talk about this topic?
Because it's very recently, and right now the FBI or you can study if you don't want to. If you don't want me to talk about one, no, I just want to get clear. The new generation and old style. The new generation probably think about the distance because this result is coming close. They don't have distance. But how about if you have a boyfriend, your girlfriend, you have to maintain distance from your friend, male friend or female friend, then you have to keep the distance, they will think that you are not a true friend. Like, they won't want to know your friend. So you can only sell your friendship and your love. Or how can we deal with the balance? You can keep both friendship and love together. How?
I talk to my friends. I go out with you if my boyfriend.
Yeah, this is one solution. I will tell my boyfriend who I go out with, and I will every hour I will have the mutual contact with my boyfriend, not just to make him feel safe like this. Or anybody can start with other topic. If you don't want to talk, you can change. I studied from the so I just want to know about the distance we call frontier feeling. And this one you can choose another topic. You can go to another.
Experience
I think keep the distance is important because it shows under respect for to your, even though he or she is not your wife or husband, but you should tell your boyfriend or girlfriend where you go. And another person should be more confident by yourself and also trust your good boyfriend and girlfriend. And in order to show the respect, for example, you are my girlfriend, I go out with those 3 girls, I will tell you what kind of relationship I'm with this 3. And I will tell you what reason I need to go out with them, because maybe job issue, and maybe for friend reunion, or I will tell you that every hour I will have video contact with you, just to make them okay, and I will make you comfortable. Yeah. And I will tell you, we will drink wine, and I will go back down when we finish with the activity. And you accept to go out. I will tell you maybe it's 2 hour dinner time, I will tell you every hour I will have a video contact. Okay? And then, just okay, but wait in the restaurant. I'm not in the motel. Okay, I'm not in the motel. What I'm doing is just to make you comfortable and trust me. And you got to trust me because I'm leaving with them maybe for job issue or just friends with me. But I won't like to go 2 weeks free time, no cell phone contact. But I know right now the new generation said, you don't trust me, so you call me. You will so borrow this. That's what we do. I think everybody should sacrifice some part of your lifetime because if you are already not alone, because you got a boyfriend or girlfriend, then you should try to respect your another maybe. Just like when I was young, every time I go out with my friend, I would tell my mother that I have to be with someone and go to which place. But right now, it seems like the new generation is not old style. They use the new style. Okay, if you don't trust me, you don't believe me, then I don't want to be your girlfriend. I'm just telling you this kind of invasion, because I hate this one. Because every time when I say it's convenient, like convenient, but it also causes a lot of social media, which people can contact with another every hour, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Then how many people dare to see your boyfriend's or boyfriend's cell phone if they don't give you the password? I will give you if I don't have any secret to give you the password. But if you cannot, you can makes you think how many people can show their real content of self right now to your another. Because the value for present people has changed. But you got a boyfriend, you have to sacrifice, right? Or you don't want to sacrifice anything. Sacrifice. You know what is sacrifice? Sacrifice. No more. Now you know. She said sacrifice. Yes, I used to join this. Will you tell your girlfriend that you want to be another girl?
I have girlfriend and I won't go on with other girls.
Please?
Yeah, I think love is more important than friend.
I think it depends on the relations you and your people.
When I think girlfriend, I will choose send that with me. And maybe we can.
And how about if I want to like don't tell you I go away, then will you separate me?
I will really jealous.
Yeah. Your kind of relationship?
Yeah, maybe. But
Because I didn't do the same criteria like you. I don't know.
I'm care about this.
So you will tell me that you do care me, you care I think I go out with another gender.
Yeah, because
You are because you are
I think when boy go out with girl,
always with intention.
even they know each other, that's girlfriend. But I think something will.
Some chemical reactions will happen.
Yeah, I think it's usual.
So do you mean there's more truly relationship? Truly. Yeah.
I think if that boy
因为他刚才讲什么？你知道刚才他在讲什么吗？
是说
我听不太懂。
大概是这样。
什么东西？
Boy which who he is a guy.
他在说什么？我听不太懂啊。
Homosexual. So you should be more feel more safe if I go with another boy who is homosexual.
Maybe but I want my girl stay with me longer. Yeah.
But how if your girlfriend said that if I stay with you all the time, then I'm just like yourself. I'm in jail. I'm not living in jail. So could you please give me some time to go out with my friend?
Yeah, so I think the same value.
So you choose the same value of the being together.
Yeah. Or I think the argument is very
frequently.
yeah.
Anyone can choose your own type.
You're gonna hear some said that some guy will pretend that they're gay and to then get closer is girls and the other will be true. But I think that own language can explain everything.
But if I will take the same thing to that person. If I go out, my girlfriend say she do mine or I will. Okay, I will be my invitation.
Yeah, I think in relationship, sometimes we will sacrifice some time or.
So if you agree that if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you do really need to sacrifice some of your time, your money, your attention.
Yeah. So, this is about responsibility.
Responsibility is there. So we can get. How about you? Maybe Professor Ari said was an answer. Because right now in trade we can see there are two different parties, right? One supposed to work for another supposed to yeah. But I think the most guilty right now is because we shouldn't still have the marriage relations and still go outside other male, even though this friend is someone your husband, but you still have to keep a distance. Not opening my opinion. How about Cyril? If you find that Cyril, you will say, I mean, Professor, we have specific vocabulary which we don't know. How about if I am a man, but I don't go out for work. And you use your salary to raise me. Does any
Financial support.
Because in Chinese we have specific, we have a language which describes a person who don't.
Can actually rely on another person.
I'm not economic independent. I need to depend on somebody maybe my wife, my girlfriend to.
A dependent.
I'm dependent.
A dependent, legally, on your tax that you are my dependent. You don't make money, so I support you. So you are my dependent.
And how about a worse description? You are useless. For example, useless. You are a useless man or you are irresponsible man.
Or woman. Well, you have to look at the circumstances. Some people make no money but do tons of free labor. Yeah. Like every relationship is different. You just can't do that, Marcus. It's not black and white. In Taiwan, in Australia, like in Taiwan, I wanted to be independent. I did not want to have anything to do with my husband, but I couldn't. I have to file a tax together, so one of us is going to be dependent. But in other words, there are many people who are married, and one of them is a dependent because they don't work, and there's nothing wrong with
So
that.
there is no such adjective to describe.
No, it's just a legal thing. Now, everyone is dependent on your tax thing. That you cannot say that person's bad, but you have to look at every dependent. And there are many dependents there are people who are lazy, who use their husband. There are men who are lazy, who use their wife. There are children. So all children are dependents.
So just the dependent person.
A dependent just means if it's on your tax record, it means somebody else is leaving you money. But remember, if you die, they collect. You want to be very careful that you supporting someone, because if they're legally your dependent, then if something happens to you, they can go after you. Yeah. But in terms of someone having an affair, adultery, you know, a mistress or that someone's having an affair, let's say, a relationship outside your public. But no, Mark, there's millions of situations where the man is making money, or the woman is making money, but she's not necessarily the better person. She could be using it. And you've got to look at the human being involved. It's really easy to say someone's being exploited, but often it's a negotiation. So often the woman will give free labor, all the cooking, all the cleaning, but she's a loser because she's not getting a pension. You know, the person earning the income, he's got everything on his side or because she's got work experience, she's going to get a pension, you know, whatever. But yeah, Mark, that's just the legal word, and it just means that your money, you're being supported financially by someone. But how much, we don't know. But I heard you talking, yes. I think Marcus is probably right. It's very eye-opening. When I was young.
How about if you already get married, right? If your husband go out with another female, two situations. A group of female, which you also know.
No, friends, mutual friends.
Okay. Another situation. Your husband go out with another female, which you don't know. Then will you mind if your husband go out?
I shouldn't, but I would, because technically everyone's free. My husband should be free to go out with anyone, completely. But in reality, it doesn't work that way. Because if you go out with somebody who's a friend, you start out as friends. But I heard someone say, it's risky because you can develop a bond very quickly.
Chemical reaction.
Yeah, whatever it is. You don't even know. You're saying to your partner, look, I swear, he's just a friend. I'm never going to have sex with him. You know, you hear that so many times, and later that person will say to you, she'll say, Iris, it's just a friend. And then it's so quickly.
How will you choose? Friends or love? If you are not,
it never has to be a choose. It's always going to be a little bit of give and take. But one of you said yes. In a marriage, your partner may not like you going out with other people. Okay, I'll tell you something. My husband is fanatically, maniacally, madly jealous. I cannot talk to any man. But he is lucky. He hit the jackpot because I'm very solitary. I try to stay away from people. My husband is like my guide dog.
You just lucky.
It's perfect.
He will color it.
Yeah, but for another woman it wouldn't be fair because I'm not social. So again, it just depends on the person. My brothers and sisters, some of them have many relationships. My sister-in-law, she only stays with my brother 6 months of the year. I totally trust her. She goes everywhere, all over the world. And my little brother trusts her. I trust her. She doesn't like being at home with my brother. She's free. But so Marcus, it's just, you've got to find someone whose habits are like yours. You cannot put restrictions. And if your wife wants to go out and just to socialize, and if she really is innocent and you don't like it, well then maybe you should, you cannot, but there are yes, I agree, there are compromises, but it's more like you don't think it's a sacrifice, it's because it's easy. If you are really dying in a relationship because your husband or wife is imprisoning you and you feel it, then that's not right. So if you don't want to be free, you don't have to be free. But if you really want to be free and your partner says no, that relationship is, if you're not happy, it's going to end up exploding. Because I know many women that had perfect, marriage. Their husband gave them everything, blah blah blah, but they never felt free. And they chose poverty. They chose to be poor over security.
Do you have a specific word in English? We have in Chinese we have a frontier line. Frontier line means you have to keep distance.
Yeah, we have to say you have to keep distance or space. There's a certain. Oh, I know what you're saying. There's a word.
Even though I allow you,
yeah,
but you should keep
there's a boundary.
distance.
Yeah, we always use this. So partners will say will both agree. Look, there's a boundary. You can do this, but not that. Yeah. So the boundary might be you can talk with other men, with your husband in his company, but don't go to a cafe with other men. But everyone has different boundaries, everyone. So don't feel there's a rule. Some relationships, they're extremely free and both the partners are happy. Others relationships are very, my husband's lucky, I'm lucky because I want to be with my husband 24 hours a day. I never get tired of it. But some people get tired of their partner, like my sister-in-law. That's nothing wrong with it. She needs to be free. But my little brother's happy because he's a workaholic. So,
before we end the class, I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the Occidental and Oriental thinking is different. Do you truly agree that every kind of relationship need to sacrifice part of your life?
Probably, but that's just.
There's a word, no sacrifice, no victory, right? But if you want to get married with someone, that if you don't sacrifice, then you won't get them.
Well, every marriage, Marcus, it depends on the person, but usually there is sacrifice involved. There usually is.
There should be, right? Because if you don't sacrifice, if you don't have a boyfriend, you still want to go out with another boy, not just like before.
No, it doesn't have to be sacrifice. Some people never ever feel. I don't feel like I'm sacrificing anything. And my friends tell me I'm in a prison, I'm in control. I feel free as a bird. So, Marcus, no, it depends on how you view it, your perception. Maybe you're in a cage, but you don't feel it. But in the West, people, especially with children, the one thing I will say is if you have kids, absolute sacrifice. With a partner, maybe not so much. But if you have children, that is when you lose your life, for sure. Where you become a different, that is sacrifice. Sacrifice is something you said that hurts. When people give money away, I say, if you're giving money away, is it easy for you because you got money? And they'll say, yes. That's not sacrifice. Sacrifice is when you're giving away something and it really kills you. So most relationships, they're happy with the arrangement. And if the sacrifice is too great, I would say leave because I think it's the partner's abusing them. If you've got to be willingly.
Change another word. You should prevent. If you want to achieve one goal, you should prevent some.
Well, yeah. If you choose a path of marriage, it means that's it. You're not going to look for another person in your life, and you don't want to. But yeah.
Okay, it's about time.
Yeah. Okay. Good, everyone. See you. That was great. Good for the conversation. Yeah, boundary is the word. That's it. Boundary.
You know what I'm saying? I'm frontier line. I'm trying to.
Frontier line? Yeah,
I'm trying to describe this. I don't know the specific word to describe it. Frontier line
It's a great description actually because it's even better than boundary because some people in relationships they realize that when they're through.
Did you see the news recently?
I saw that man who's got a wife and he's got 3 girls.